looks like we actually have a boat looking to come in, so that's going to be pretty cool. Hey, my name's Justin Brooks, and today we're in Little Falls, New York. We're going to be talking about exactly what gear you need to get the most cinematic footage out of your pocket camera, be it the Insta360 Luna Ultra or the DJI Pocket 4 or 4P. This is the way to get those sweet cinematic shots. Now, this is gear that I actually purchased and have used through the years. I'm not sponsored in any way by any of these companies, and no money's exchanged hands. Although I'd love a lot of money to exchange hands, that's not the case. So this is the real gear that I have used to get the most cinematic shots out of my Insta360 Luna Ultra or any of the DJI Pocket cameras. Now, if you're a horror fan, you might actually recognize Little Falls. If you've watched A Quiet Place, they destroyed it in 2 movies. Well, they were here for one of those movies. The other one was an entire set. But today, I decided to go out and shoot this video when it's 109 degrees Fahrenheit out, which is, for New York, absolutely insane. And I decided to go out with 2 cameras that have a tendency to overheat. That is the Fujifilm X-H2S that I'm shooting on currently, and my Insta360 Luna Ultra. Now, I know there's plenty of people that have messaged me being like, mine's never overheated. Well, mine has, and it's 109 degrees Fahrenheit outside right now, so this will be the true test. Anyway, let's talk about gear. Now, before we actually talk about the support gear for the camera, I've got to talk to you a little bit about how I carry this camera around. I mean, the Insta360 pouch is pretty great, the one that it comes with, but it only carries, well, the things that it actually comes with. And as time goes on, your camera gear is going to grow and grow. You're going to get maybe some extra batteries, definitely some extra cards, and hopefully some filtration for the front of it. So I've been carrying everything around in my Peak Design Tech pouch. I absolutely love these things. I have a whole bunch of them for a whole bunch of different purposes, but this has become a really great pouch for the Insta360 Luna Ultra. I used to use it for my DJI Pocket 3, but now I've kind of upgraded to this camera. Cool thing about this guy is even when you fully open it and hang it by its little handle here, it gives you a shelf at the bottom and just kind of accordions out, so you can go in there and choose all the stuff that you actually want. And it does it from either side, whichever way you're gonna hang your actual tech pouch. Anyway, as you can see in here, I've got my extra battery, I've got my actual Luna Ultra, I've got my ND filters, and this microphone usually sits in there. So all my gear fits pretty perfectly in the Peak Design Tech pouch, and for extra security, it's actually water resistant. That's not waterproof. You can't throw this thing in a lake, but if you get caught in the rain, it's gonna be perfectly okay until you find some cover. Anyway, I carry everything in the Peak Design Tech pouch. I have a whole bunch of these, love these things, and they last forever. So yeah, moving on. Now, one of the absolute first things you should be picking up is, well, ND. That's the only way you're going to get those cinematic frame rates, keep things down like your shutter speed, your ISO, basically control your exposure. And that is the way to create great cinematic footage. You need to control that exposure. Now, I picked up these Tellison NDs. These are actually magnetic. They snap right to the front. And so far, I'm a big fan. Now, I also ordered the Insta360 ND kit, and that still hasn't come. So I've been using these guys, and they've been working perfectly fine. They do exactly what you'd think out of a variable ND, and I actually prefer the diffusion filter in this kit over the Insta360 one. It feels like it has a slightly more natural bloom. The Insta360 feels like it might be an 1/8 diffusion, whereas this feels a little closer to a 1/4 diffusion, which is typically what I like to put in front of my lenses to lessen that digital feel. Now, that's all up to taste, but I can tell you the diffusion is really nice. The polarizer is fantastic and works really well on windows and water. And this variable ND is doing exactly what you'd want out of a variable ND. Now, I have one issue with this kit, and that's the fact that if you turn your variable ND too far and close it down too much, you get that really gross, dirty, dark X pattern that you see in so many variable NDs. Now that occurs because to make a variable ND, all it is two polarizer filters kind of cycling against one another. Now if you go too far against that, it's going to create that gross, dark, blotchy X pattern. I wish Telesin had put the hard stop before it turns into that mush, but otherwise, beyond that, this is a really great filter. It's really secure, it stays on there, and in fact, you can stack these filters on top of one another. Now, it's not as secure as having just one filter on, but it's doable. So I would say if you're in a situation where you're just walking around town, you need that ND, you can stack these filters no problem. I wouldn't do it if you're going 60 on a car, but walking around town, it's perfectly fine. Now, onto one of the most important pieces of gear, well, support gear that is, and that's the tripod. Now, I've tried a whole bunch of different little travel tripods and kind of selfie sticks with small stands, and really I keep on running into two main issues. With the travel tripods, oftentimes they're just not tall enough, they're bulky, they're more than I need. And when it comes to the selfie sticks, well, most of those itty bitty tripods that screw onto the bottom of them just aren't big enough. So then I found the Ulanzi MT79. This has become my absolute go-to when it comes to my Insta360 Luna Ultra tripod. And to be perfectly honest, it doubles as a vlogging selfie stick. It's pretty fantastic. It's rugged, and it actually has a really great wide tripod base. So you're able to put this down in the woods, in the city, anywhere you want, doesn't matter, and you can be sure that this thing is actually going to be secure. The base is wide enough to actually be able to keep your camera up, and it's got about a 6'7" reach. So you're able to actually use it when you're addressing camera. It's tall enough to be able to play around with some fake crane shots, all sorts of fun stuff. This has become my absolute go-to when it comes to camera support. This is my tripod, this is my selfie stick, this is an all-arounder, and it is a little bit hefty. It's got some girth to it that keeps the camera planted, but it also means if anybody tries to steal your camera, you can beat the ever-loving. For those of you that don't want to be carrying around a larger selfie stick or think that the Ulanzi tripod's a little heavy and just want to kind of do some general vlogging, I use this, and that's the PGY Tech Mantis Pod. I love this thing. I got it way early on for my DJI Pocket camera, and it's done an absolutely fantastic job. This is able to kind of be a perfect little vlog style tripod. You're able to keep a little more distance, giving a little bigger picture, a little larger frame on you, and wherever you go, you can open it up, set it down, and it works as its own tripod. You can walk away from it, treat it as such. It also comes with a little hook, so if you have any like chain link fence, any ledge, anything that you can hook this thing to, you can get the tripod a little higher. This has been a fantastic little vlog tripod and pretty much goes with me absolutely everywhere. Now, last but absolutely not least is the Tilta Hydra Alien Mini. That name is entirely too long. This is one of my absolute favorite accessories for my Pocket cameras, and I'll tell you exactly why. This thing is so modular that it has a ton of different possibilities for rigging. Now, obviously, you've probably seen this rigged up with a suction cup at the very bottom, and you throw that on the car hood and it takes away all those bumps and all those kind of potholes, so you get some really great tracking car shots. But I have it currently with a handle, so while I'm walking and my body is bouncing, it keeps the camera level enough that it takes out all of that Z-axis bounce. So much like the DJI Ronin 4D, this gives you a gimbal up top with that Z-axis stabilization, so you get really smooth gimbal shots. You don't get that like walking kind of bob, and it takes all that out for you. Now, MoveMax does make a version of this Z-axis stable arm. I own both of them, and I can tell you from personal experience, the Tilta version is far superior, both in its stability and in its control. Utilizing this top dial, you can really get the tension straight, whereas in the MoveMax, you have to like mess with a spring inside. It's a whole thing. It's not my favorite machine. And like I said, I own both of them. I can tell you, the MoveMax stays home, and this is the guy that comes out with me. I absolutely love this Tilta Hydra Alien Mini. Again, the name's just, it's too long, but pretty great little machine. As always, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Like, subscribe, do all the YouTube stuff, and come back here for all things film and filmmaking. Until then, I'll see you in the next one. Of course.